Welcome to StaffBuffalo's Pain Points podcast, where we unravel the complexities of staffing, human resources, and other challenges faced by businesses today.
Welcome to the Pain Points podcast. I have Nhi, owner of Sativa Remedy here, and we're in her wonderful store in Tonawanda, so please come out and join us. And tell us a little bit about how you hopped into the world of entrepreneurship.
Yes, thanks so much, Maggie, for coming out and visiting the store today. And really, I started Sativa Remedy in 2018, almost right after I had graduated from the University of Buffalo. I have my background in chemistry and health and human service, which really was going to be a direct pathway into medicine for me, whether it was pharmacy or working in a hospital. That was kind of like the life dream. And kind of throughout my experiences and some things we'll dive a little bit deeper into, I really learned the magic of cannabis plant medicine and how it can be a helpful tool and resource for health and wellness, for improving people's quality of life. And I really, right after college, dove right into curating my own business, and that's where we planted the seed that is Sativa Remedy. Now, 5 years later, we recently just celebrated our 5th year anniversary.
Congratulations.
And we've built a really strong team. We've curated a line of hemp products that are not only helping people live a better quality of life, but it's also helping their dogs live a better quality of life. And that's something I've been it's been a journey. Entrepreneurship is not easy. It comes with a lot of pain points, but it comes with a lot of lessons. And I'm so grateful to be here, to be able to talk about it and really hopefully inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs, of women who want to step out of their comfort zone and be able to take risks and really bet on yourself and bet on a mission and a vision and create something that is meaningful. And that's kind of what I've been doing at Sativa Remedy, and really looking forward to the journey ahead as we continue to grow in the cannabis industry, as we watch our industry emerge and really quite blossom.
That's amazing. So did you always know you wanted to own your own business? Did you always know you wanted to have a shop? Or like you mentioned, you wanted to be in medicine, but did you ever envision this?
In my wildest dream, I can tell you I never envisioned being in this setting, being a retail store manager, building a team, being a team leader. Those things, I think it just came with the territory as I curated and built Sativa Remedy. But really, my entire life, I always knew I wanted to do something that would help people, that would give back in some sort of way. And that's why I think naturally I gravitated towards healthcare and medicine and really trying to understand where people were suffering and how to alleviate suffering. And it's a really personal journey for me, because in my last year of college, my dad got diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 lung cancer. It sucked. And watching your hero go through their battles, go through this healthcare battle, and then learning, I got a chance to work with a doctor who was a medical cannabis doctor. Oh, wow. And learned a lot about what CBD, THC was, and I really started to dive into the research. So it kind of made sense for me to be able to understand the science that was behind the plant, but then also understand how it was getting applied to help people. We saw so many great studies and personal anecdotes of cannabis being able to help people sleep better, eat better, sleep better. And I really took a chance when trying CBD with my dad. It was a bet that we took on ourselves, on his health, that like, hey, maybe this could help. And when it did help, I was inspired. I was like, I want to bring this to the masses, to my community. If this can help my dad, maybe it can help someone else's dad, someone else's grandparents be able to. And I'm proud to say that in our 5 years in business, the number of people we've been able to help understand this plant more and reconnect with the plant, that has been the mission and vision since we planted that first seed. And we've been able to really accomplish that. And it's been such a journey, but it doesn't come without
some pain points.
Yes, right?
And that's what I'm curious about. What are some of the pain points from going from, hey, I have this idea, I have this passion, I want to spread the word about this medicine that not everyone knows about, that we don't learn in school, that we don't learn in medical school, that you really do have to do your own research, and you do have to be inspired, and you do have to find a few people to talk to, and things to just know about. So tell us, how did you go from that, and what were some pain points along the journey to get you to planting that seed, cultivating that seed, and literally watching it grow into the Sativa Remedy?
Yeah, so I was absolutely terrified when we kind of started exploring this idea, because I've never had any sort of business experience. I didn't go to business school. I had no whereabouts. I've never worked retail a day in my life.
Oh, wow.
But I knew what I was good at. I was really good at taking care of people. I was really good at being able to connect with people on a personal level. I was able to kind of really take that and then bet on myself. Fear is one of the things that will hold back any entrepreneur. There's so many things to be fearful about. What if I fail? What if I'm putting everything on the line for this project, this vision, and this mission? And what if I absolutely trip and fumble? What if it doesn't work out? And the cherry on top of this entire thing is I chose the most highly regulatory,
Yes, you did.
highly regulated industry to start getting my foot wet in business. So that was one thing where the first thing we learned was how to navigate the regulatory aspects that came with hemp and cannabis. And it's not, in 2018 when we started, it wasn't as acceptable as it is today. There was a lot of learning how to be an advocate, not only for myself as a business owner, but an advocate for the plant, an advocate for the members of our community that choose to use this plant, and how we can really stand up for the plant and then destigmatize through education and community building. And every challenge along the way, I've heard a lot of crazy things in my days. From working in retail, you're exposed to the public all the time. You're constantly public facing. So you really learn how to communicate your message, how to really educate in an efficient, understandable way. We're talking about really complex subjects. Sometimes we're dealing with heavy things, individuals coming in with a lot of suffering, and how do we give them hope that maybe X product will work, or Y product might work better, or hey, let's give this a chance and to try something that might just not really, cannabis and hemp, it's not a cure-all, but it's a wonderful tool. And I was able to not only know how to utilize those tools, but now I'm really normalizing it for the community. How do I use this gummy? How do I use this pet tincture for my dog on 4th of July? And we're there to provide that guidance. But it doesn't come without its pain points of learning to be brave, learning to be a better communicator, learning how to be an educator. And really, when we started out, we realized that our journey is our own and our timeline is our own. So we've taken things really slowly because we wanted to build with intention. We wanted to always build in a way that aligned with our mission and vision of helping people to provide safe access to this plant.
And I'm sure working through all the regulations, even probably finding a location that is open to hemp, open to CBD, when it wasn't as widely accepted. And it's still not widely accepted, but it is much more than 2018. So how did you even navigate within the community and just showcasing the plant and staying true to it? How did you navigate all of that when probably people were pushing you down repeatedly, I guarantee?
I think it was really, again, it goes back to really having this strong mission and vision and believing in the message that you're standing behind. But then it's going, I tell my team members this all the time when they come into the workplaces, you got to show up and show up. You show up in spaces that maybe be a little bit uncomfortable, but then you start to learn how to communicate. You start to learn how to break down people's walls as you talk to them about their stigma and maybe their misconceptions. And we really bring a human element to it that even though there might be misconceptions with this plant, I can communicate with this human and provide a little education, a little guidance. I have had people who have said to me, honey, without your 30 minutes today, I would have never tried this. I'm terrified of this plant. I've had XYZ bad experience, or ABC people have told me this and that, and we're really there to root people in the health and wellness aspect of the plant and how we can utilize this tool to really alleviate suffering and to better our quality of life. Because I always say this, life is too short to walk around and be suffering. And this plant, again, it isn't a cure-all, but it is an amazing tool. And it's been the number one tool I've used as an entrepreneur to help me get through my pain points too.
Oh, I love that.
I think mental health, like entrepreneurship, we romanticize it, right? It's the girl
hard.
boss.
Yes.
It's go out there and be the girl boss. And I love it. I love being a boss babe. But there are some days I just want to be a flop. I just want to flop. I just want to feel my emotions.
Check out.
Exactly. And we all go through that. And it is a journey. And to be quite honest, when I first started out in business, I thought it was going to be ABC, shoot to the moon. And I've learned, no, this is a hike. This is a marathon. And we have to, and we have to pace ourselves.
Yes.
Because I think oftentimes a lot of entrepreneurs, we experience burnout.
Absolutely.
We go every day 90 miles an hour, especially women too.
Yeah.
We are expected to show up not at 100%, at 110, 20% every day, all day, for whether it's the family, the children, for our businesses. But oftentimes I found myself a couple years ago experiencing massive burnout, intense anxiety, feeling like I've lost my sparkle, so to say. And it's tough. Yeah. We talk about being in a highly regulated industry. We're talking about public-facing misconception, miseducation, and
regulations changing left and right, zigging and zagging. And I even remember just going through, well, can you have this beverage or this beverage? And it was like, now we got to remove all these from our shelves and add this. It's just the chaos that was happening. And my heart went out for you and all the other entrepreneurs.
And we see a lot of entrepreneurs deal with this. And this was like, and my solution to that was taking a step back, slowing down, and being able to, again, root myself in the mission and vision and what we're doing, why we're doing, and brought a sense of renewed hope in me that it's like, no, this is your heart. Choose your heart. We can absolutely, and my heart was like really taking care of myself, being able to separate myself from the business and showing up for the business. But then it was like, as this entrepreneur, I'm always going to show up for my business, but damn, I need these next 6 months to show up for myself, to be able to slow down and really take care of my health.
Put those boundaries a little bit.
Yes, even with your business, even as an entrepreneur, you have to draw boundaries with your business. I have a very, like, when I go home at 7, 8 p.m., I'm not checking my emails.
That's good.
I'm not.
Me too. I put my phone as far away as humanly possible for a little bit and try to reconnect and ground myself.
Yep, and that's a practice. I've been going on daily walks and really shedding that negative energy, the stress, and just really letting it out into nature. So we have to find ways that work for ourselves as we experience whatever pain points it might be in our journey. Is we have to figure out how to build systems that help us grow and thrive in the uncomfortable. I think we talk about hemp and cannabis being such a turbulent industry. I think in any industry, any entrepreneur is going to face turbulence.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you're able to really root yourself in that mission and that vision, you're able to really pivot and weave through it and then grow throughout the journey.
So I'm hearing that there is some advice coming out of this, that as long as you truly believe in yourself, truly believe in your company, truly believe in your mission and vision, then revisiting that can really reignite you and really kind of give you that you need to continue going on again.
Yes.
So you mentioned walks, you mentioned probably a few of your products that you utilize. So tell me a little bit about when you are trying to kind of calm yourself down. You mentioned earlier, we were talking about coffee, for example, removing coffee, removing those stimuli. So what else, maybe even the products that you use, would make someone kind of help them get to that centering again?
Yeah, one of the things I've done over the past couple of years is not only have I decreased my caffeine consumption, I've diluted it with a lot of water, but I also really have stepped away from using alcohol.
Yeah.
I love and really enjoy an infused beverage in the evening time. It's a perfect way for me to really unwind and really ground myself. And really, it's about finding different products that work for me. We have tons of products on the shelf, and in 2024 access is amazing. We have so many access points, but recognizing that me and Maggie, different products for different folks.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Whereas like I might enjoy something that's really lower on the THC side, some folks might find it more enjoyable, more helpful to have a higher dose of THC. Some folks rather keep THC out of the game altogether and really lean more on the calming, grounding effects of CBD. And that's where Sativa Remedy really shines, is being able to provide folks with the guidance to tune in, is what I like to call tune into the plant, tune into yourself. Are we looking to use cannabis to numb our emotions and feelings, or are we looking to use cannabis in some shape or form to help us push through to the next level with less anxiety and maybe more creativity?
Love that. And I think what you were saying before is a lot of just pain points in general is getting through the pandemic. And you were mentioning kind of coming in and just talking. A lot of people rely on their phones, and then they might end up in a research hole or something like that. But a lot of times it's just come out to the store, talk with the professionals, and help them navigate. Help them help you navigate through exactly what you're looking for and what your needs are. And just go in and, like you said, 30 minutes of telling all the ailments, all the, hey, I'm stressed here and I can't sleep, and then you can help them. Well, why don't you try a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then create your own routine, create your own strategy, and then that'll work.
And I think that's really important. I think that applies when looking for the right hemp or cannabis products for yourself, but it also applies like in entrepreneurship too. There's so many parallels.
Yes.
And really when it comes to hemp and cannabis in 2024, we have no shortage of information out there. And you're right, it can be information overload and stimulus. There's still a lot of fear mongering out there, and then there's still a lot of wishy-washy like places where you can go to that
on a whole.
Whereas really it is about building that human connection with the plant. Coming in, having one of our team members talk to you, and really having an approach of health and wellness has been really a game changer. Our approach is very unique, it's very special, where we're able to really provide options, but not only, it's not just the products. We're not just here to be like, here Maggie, here's a product, we promise it'll work for you. It's more really normalizing it for folks, helping folks understand, when I take this product home, here's how I might feel. Being able to empower consumers to go home and learn on their own too as they experiment with the product. And once we're able to empower our community to explore this plant, they explore in a way that is really guided, that they're not just left alone in the dust like, oh no, I ate this gummy, I have no idea, it didn't work, or maybe it was too much. Consumers, our customers, feel empowered to come back and talk to us
all about it.
Yes,
and just be like, well,
and go
I
on
don't
a
know.
journey.
I had a little bit of this and then a little bit, and then I didn't feel as overwhelmed. No, I think that's wonderful, and that guidance really helps. That human to human connection really helps.
And that goes right into entrepreneurship. As you're starting on an entrepreneurship journey, it is about building an amazing system around you, a network that supports your wildest dreams and provides you that guidance. I've been so fortunate in my journey that like I've never done it alone. I have an amazing partner. I have an amazing dream team that show up and believe in my mission and vision. They go out and they take care of the customers, and they really have found their ways to align with what we're building here at Sativa Remedy. And as an entrepreneur, having that strong network of mentors, of colleagues that you can lean on. Sometimes you just need to call your industry friend and just rage about everything that's going on. I think that in and of itself is
group text going.
Yes, we don't have to do this alone.
Yes.
We don't have to.
But how do you find those relationships? Just in general, like you're an entrepreneur, like, okay, this is what I want to do. How do you find different communities that you can go out to? And how did you do it? They're kind of underground communities at that time.
Yeah, I think it is, the more I talk about my mission, vision, and what I'm building, I attract the right people. I've always been pro, like I want to work with people who are willing to pick up the bricks with me, who are willing to show up for the community. And we all show up in our own different ways. We all have our different paths, but really I find alignment in being able to connect with folks who believe this plant is plant medicine first and foremost, and it is a tool to help people, to help rebuild our community, to help build equity and generational wealth. And I find that the more I talk about it, the more I normalize cannabis, the more I show up. We were at the Buffalo Garden Walk over the weekend, and sometimes you think in spaces where you might not find cannabis, you find cannabis and you find that connection point.
Yes.
And when you start building all these connections, it's like a web. Your web starts to get stronger as you build more connection points. As you learn more about the plant, you build stronger connections. As you learn more about your community, not what's going on in New York City, not what's going on in Albany, your local community, as you start to get a pulse on the needs and the wants and where your people are, where your tribe is, you start to really become more confident, more stronger. You break through that fear of like, oh, I'm doing this alone. You are never doing this alone, but you have to take the risk to go out there, put yourself out there and talk about what you want to do.
And then listen. It sounds like a lot of listening, realizing someone is there to be your mentor.
Yes.
And that you're probably there simultaneously because everybody's coming up at the same time.
Yes, and it's one of the most powerful things I've learned, and I'm a very independent person. I started Sativa Remedy with nothing, but it took me 3-4 years to learn how to ask for help. Like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Hey, can I just borrow 30 minutes of your time to brain dump an idea? And training myself to understand that I'm not alone, that I can reach out, that I have a strong network if I ever needed anything. That has empowered me to also be that for other entrepreneurs as they're also coming up in this industry. As we're learning how to weave and navigate the rough seeds together, we learn that, as much as this plant has really connected us with so many different people from a professional sense, but also from a community standpoint too, of community members who are really also out there destigmatizing and normalizing the plant, and you realize like how powerful this plant is, both as a tool for health and wellness, but a tool for community building as well.
Oh, I love that. Now, you mentioned your dream team. Have you ever had any pain points surrounding hiring or training, or how did you even develop the training surrounding this to encourage your team members to show up?
Yeah, that has been a journey in and of itself. And again, I'm terrified. I'm always terrified I'm not being a good team leader. But we recognized at a point in our growth that we needed team members, that we could not wear all the hats. I needed to start taking off some hats. My shoulders were heavy. So how I did that was I really was able to identify what is teachable. Everything in cannabis we can teach. So how do I create systems that encourage learning? So I stepped out of being just a owner of a store into more of a teacher role. How do I teach team members about not just the products, but how to communicate effectively with our customers, how to navigate really tough questions. And then I've really learned what qualities I look for in a team member. When you build a team, you really want to identify like, what is it, what kind of help are you looking for, and what kind of personalities are you looking for in your team? What really is important to the mission and vision of the company, of the business we're building, and then being able to attract that. So I really looked when I was building my team is, yes, their previous experiences that they bring to the table, but more so things that are not teachable: compassion, understanding, kindness. We can teach the products, we can teach the science of cannabis and the plant. There are certain things like simply caring, going that extra mile, and being able to show up for the customers. Those are the things I was looking for that were not so tangible, but you can definitely feel out folks' vibes and get to know people and really curate systems of caring and of learning. And that's there's always something different for them to learn, something new to lean into. If a customer asks a really tough question, we can break it down and talk with each other about it. It's building a system of trust too. When you start introducing people into your business, introducing them into your team, it can be really tough to trust the person with the keys to your store every day, trust them to show up when you're not around, when you need a day off, when we want to go camping for 3 days.
Yes.
I can leave our store and feel like my assistant manager is going to hold down the fort and take care of the other team members.
And then it's going to be better even when you get
Yes.
back. Not like, oh, I hope it doesn't burn down,
Yeah.
but you're actually confident that it's going to be running and running well.
Yes.
Which
And
is amazing.
It's amazing. It's been such a privilege to build this team, and I give them 100% of the credit for our growth this year is because they show up and they're willing to show up for the company, show up for myself, and show up for the community. I've gotten to a point where I'm like, they are better at like a lot of the consultations than I am.
That's
that they're
great.
so tuned
Hired
in,
right.
right?
Yes.
I can step away and I can really trust them to show up and show out.
And then you can focus more on the business side of
Yes.
things and maybe expanding. And so
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about the other side of the store?
Yes,
So you have
so-
the consumable side,
Yes.
and then you have the other side, which is the
Grow Center.
Yay!
So early this year, we recognized that New York State was going to have legal homegrown, meaning consumers can grow their own plant medicine in the privacy of their own homes. And we pivoted and launched our Grow Center, which is where we provide the education and the guidance necessary for you to reconnect with the plant by growing your own plant medicine.
so truly, actually educating from the ground up.
Yeah, and we have an amazing grow manager, Casey, who's here. He's been providing us with the guidance for us to learn as well. He's been helping us train the other team members as well. And it's been a really cool journey because we understand, like, now you have access. You can walk into a number of legal dispensaries and be able to have access to amazing products. But I find that there is therapy in being able to get dirty, so to say,
Yeah.
and really dig into the dirt and really start to tune into the plant that way too. Because growing cannabis, it's not hard, but there is definitely absolutely a learning curve.
Well, it's probably similar to learning how to cook well. I mean, we
Yes.
all can eat food at the end, but it's
Mhm.
really different when you're washing your own vegetables, you're
Yes.
chopping them, you're knowing what goes into your meal, you're
Yes.
knowing what goes into your medicine.
Yes, absolutely, and it's the same thing for entrepreneurship. It's a learning curve, and if you've never done it before, it's going to feel like the toughest climb. But when you get there, when you reap the rewards of having a successful business, or even like for myself, I'm grateful that Sativa Remedy is really successful. I'm like, wow, look how you overcome this challenge. Look how you overcame this, and how that builds grit. That's something that no one can take away from you. Sativa Remedy one day might not be here, but I will have all the lessons. I will have all the network that I built from this business, from just doing it, showing up, doing the damn thing, but also taking the time to reflect and then taking the time to take care of yourself. And it is a journey. It's a climb. Some days you're going to be in the lowest of lows and you're like, this product isn't working for me. My plant isn't growing. The tomatoes aren't growing. And the business isn't growing. What do I do? And you really start to root yourself and get gritty and get creative. And it is all-encompassing entrepreneurship, cannabis. It's a full spectrum.
So then you also mentioned that you had no business background. So I'm sure there were a lot of pain points of you don't know what you don't know.
No.
So how did you go and start to learn your own accounting? How did you start to learn how to actually hire, how to do the marketing, how to build a brand? How did you even come up with any of this? What really was your navigation of that climb of you don't know what you don't know?
You don't know what you don't know until you learn it.
Yep.
And some things you learn the hard way, some things come naturally. So I had a subset, like I come from a STEM background. I have a background in chemistry. So I really knew the science really well. So I started teaching myself the science of cannabis. And then I started to, when I was able to learn it, then I started challenging myself to teach it. How do we take these very complicated sciencey concepts and really boil it down to the nitty gritty and be able to help people connect with the plant? But then the things I didn't know, I asked other people for help. I asked for help on what's the best practices for hiring. I asked, hey, what are the best ways I could bookkeep? What records should I be keeping? And really, sometimes it was just like, what are the best free softwares? Canva 101.
Yes.
And we use Canva, for example, just hyper focusing on brand building for a second. we have built everything on Canva, but we use Adobe and Photoshop. And Canva was also coming up in 2018. It was a new software. I signed up for the free trial, and I just learned. We learned how to build our own website, watching endless hours of YouTube, just how to, as the business grows, we're able to bring on team members that can help with those projects now, that can help manage the website, that can help us tune into our marketing strategies. But when you're doing it and you're learning how to do it yourself, you really become self-sufficient in a way where you start to collect, like in a video game, experience points.
Yes.
And
XP.
then when you go out there to build your team, build your tribe, you're like, I need team members that know how to do X, Y, Z. Or, hey, I really need to take off this social media hat this week. My wonderful marketing girl, Amanda, is able to help us brainstorm ideas. And that's kind of really, as you grow, you learn. You fail a lot and you break through the fears, because that's the numbers. We all want to show up perfect. We all want to show up and shiny and new. But I think throughout the journey, it's just like, no, it's like driving a car through the woods. You weave, you navigate, you pick up experience. And then more importantly, you go and you start training the next team member. You start, hey, I'm going to train you on how to plan our social media for the week. Hey, I'm going to train you how to be a better salesperson. Hey, I'm going to train you through my experiences how to navigate these really difficult conversations. And we really empower our team members to take responsibility for their projects that they are holding on to and really work with the company to help grow the company.
That's awesome. Watching, and just same, it's the whole bootstrapping,
Yes.
figuring it out, learning yourself, and really then understanding, okay, maybe this isn't my strong suit. Maybe this is something that isn't giving me joy anymore and something that I need to offload. One of the first things for me was social media as well, where I like to have a hand in the marketing a lot, but the day-to-day, the responding to comments and everything like that takes a lot of time. And even with hiring, we are the outsourced, because it takes a lot of time. So people love to outsource to us. So it's just finding those people that you can truly trust to outsource to or to offload to as you add your team members. So identifying, oh, you have a strength that I have a weakness in. So you can actually help in multiple facets of my business if I can teach you. So it sounds like a lot of the time you're taking all of your knowledge and then really teaching and pushing it to the next person so then they can train the next person. And truly everyone understands what your mission and your vision is throughout, which I think is phenomenal. You're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you. I think you have to be a little bit delulu, a little bit delusional, and a lot of people call me a hyper optimist, or so positive. She's always, and that is a lot of the mental training. I am delusional about being successful. I'm delusional about being a great team leader. I'm not it now. But damn well, I bet I will get there through learning.
Be, and I'll try. I'll try really, really hard.
And if I miss a step, if I trip and falter, I'm going to pick myself up, brush off my knees, and keep going.
And learn from it.
Yes, but also recognizing along this journey, you don't have to stick to one mission, one vision, one company. You can pivot, you can turn, because entrepreneurship, building a business, building a vision, it's what you make of it.
Absolutely.
You're taking an idea, a vision, and mission. I think it still blows my mind. I had this vision and that it is
this
tangible.
Yes.
And
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. And even taking it from your mission and vision of the education and of really just helping people with the plant medicine, of course that easily goes into the grow side, because now you're saying, no, you can do this all yourself. Like you're empowering the consumer from the beginning all the way to the end. Like, come, just grab some seeds. Yeah. Grow yourself. You got this.
Absolutely.
We'll help you along the way.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're here to do, and that's exactly what I want to do for entrepreneurs.
Yes. Help them along the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really, and cannabis, hemp, it's a new industry. It's still a baby. And there's a lot of pain points that come with it. But a little guidance, we can make the climb together.
And that's how I met you, was actually through your volunteer efforts, because it was giving back to the cannabis community and trying to spread the positive word and trying to advocate. So are you still doing things like that, getting into the community to advocate? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think it's really important to continuously advocate for the plant. Like, yes, we have access now, and we have so many stores and places to be able to get access, but I think it's always being able to advocate for better access, advocate for a more robust, diverse marketplace. And I think it all goes back to being a teacher. I always want to go out there and really destigmatize and normalize cannabis, because although we might think everyone's all about it, there's still some folks that we have to win over to the green side. So for the mission and vision to continue working, we have to continue stepping out there and stepping out of our comfort zone and really working to continue to educate and reconnect the plant and the community.
Now, what advice do you have for upcoming entrepreneurs of any industry, and specifically for the hemp industry? I want like a 1-2 punch.
Okay, so I think as an entrepreneur, if you're just getting started out and there's a lot of doubts, I say just do it. Write the idea, take the idea, put it on paper, dream of your wildest dreams, and find your mission and vision. Find your North Star. What sparks hope or joy in you? What is, even if it seems so unattainable where you are right now, write it down. Take the first step today. Pick up a book. Entrepreneurs, pick up a book, pick up a resource, and just really, as much as we take time learning how to be an entrepreneur, it is truly about executing.
Doing.
Right? Mm-hmm. You can read 100 books on how to be an entrepreneur, but you're really not an entrepreneur until you break through that first layer of fear and just do it.
Start the thing.
Yeah. And then for hemp and cannabis entrepreneurs, you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to be flexible. I think we have a lot of misconceptions on what this industry is or what it's supposed to be. Everyone has their own different opinions. Everyone is at a different stage in their entrepreneurship journey when it comes to hemp and cannabis too. And I think you have to really cultivate patience and flexibility in cannabis. That you can't get tripped up every single time that there's a regulatory change or a leadership change, or if something doesn't quite work out to be picture perfect. You have to be able to find your peace and your hope even when things are going wrong. Yeah. When shit hits the fan, how you react, how you show up will determine how far you can go in this industry. Can't give up. Got to keep doing it. If you love this plant and you die hard want to be in this, know that you're going to be in this for the long haul. This is not a 3 to 5, get the F out. This is a committed journey to the plant, to the community, to be able to show up and normalize cannabis. And that is not a straight shot. That is an ebb and flow journey. And as entrepreneurs, we really have to ground ourselves in what our mission and vision is for being in this industry, our why. You always have to know your why, and your why can change as you grow and pivot in the industry. But when the tough times show up, choose your heart. Choose your heart and choose how you want to show up for this plant, for your community, and for the mission and vision that you're building. And when times get hard, lean on your community, lean on your tribe, and continue to just be gritty about it. Be gritty about building your best reality.
I love that. So that now, Nhi, how can we come visit you? How can we visit Sativa Remedy? How can we check out your products, maybe online? Tell us all the things.
Yes. So if you want to learn more about Sativa Remedy, check out sativaremedy.com. All of our information is on there, from our product selections to amazing, wonderful educational blogs that our team members have wrote to help provide you guidance. But more importantly, come visit us in the store in Tonawanda. We are located at 17 Main Street in the city of Tonawanda, and we're open here 6 days a week, 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday. We love for you to come in, get to know our team, and get to know what we're all about here at Sativa Remedy.
And also, pick up the book.
Yes. Normalize this for mommies and daddies and all community members, and really break through that stigma.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nhi.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Pain Points podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to follow us so you never miss out on future episodes.